Hi everyone, Simone from BassYourLife at NAMM here with a true game changer in the bass world, Mr. Sheldon Dingwall himself. So Sheldon, I'm sure that all the Dingwall players back in Italy are eager to know what's coming next.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank all the Italian players that have bought a Dingwall or at least tried one. Thank you so much. Love Italy. Love the people. Love the culture, the food, the design, the everything.
Yeah.
So this is the Super P1, and this is from the very first production run. So the rest of the basses are currently being shipped to us now. So we will be able to ship Super P1s to their customers who bought the very first run end of February through March.
Absolutely.
The Super P1, the body is extra thin, which makes it lighter and slightly more punchy. 4-position rotary switch gives you all the traditional P and J tones plus all 3 in series, which from what I've been told has become one of the most popular bass tones in Japan right now. And so it's a good tone to listen to and see if it works for your music.
Okay. And correct me if I am wrong, this is the affordable version of the custom
Yes.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been building Super P custom shops since 2009, I believe.
Yes. Exactly.
What we changed was we changed the headstock, so it still looks like it belongs on this style of body, but it's not a copy or a cut off headstock from the original. We simplified this area here, but hopefully it still makes people look at it and go, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we simplified a little bit the back horn. If you notice, it's been cut out.
Yeah.
I come from the 1980s shred guitar world, and that was something we used to do all the time to our guitars, so that when you hit your hand at the bottom, you have access to the 22nd fret.
That's wonderful.
Bang, there it is. 5-bolt neck. I got that idea from Steve Bailey, and it really helps to connect the neck to the body. These are our custom string trees. We have them made by Graphtec. The nut is Graphtec, and so this allows you to just have the minimum of angle over top of the nut, and you only need string trees where you need them. You don't have to have a string tree to cover all the strings, and so it's a tweaky part of our design, but it works really well. So we are transitioning all of our production except for the Z's and Prima Artists to the minimalist bridge.
Yep.
And so we make these in-house. The idea is that the bridge sits in a pocket, and there's a shim underneath the bridge. And so what that allows you to do is it allows you to set the bridge height for your style, and then just subtly adjust the saddles.
Okay.
So that you can have the ideal string angle. Too much string angle and your string will break. And the people that need the highest action are the guys that play the hardest, and they break the most strings. And so this allows you to adjust that so that you can play as hard as you want, and
keeping a light angle. Yeah.
Keeping a minimal angle so your strings last as long as possible. Yes, we make strings, we sell strings, but we want the strings to last as long as possible.
Of course.
So that is new for 2025. This wood is my personal favorite. It's roasted northern ash.
Okay.
We tried making necks out of northern ash back in the 90s and just hated the tone, hated the look. And so never wanted to try it again. And when I saw this, I was just enthralled by the color, and I thought, well, let's try it again. Maybe we missed something back then. Maybe we're smarter now. And the first neck was just like, this is the tone I've heard in my head all along, and there it is.
Okay.
Lightweight, like feel the weight of that.
Yeah, because I already tried some MTD with ash next, and the word was heavy.
Yes.
That's not heavy.
The roasting takes a lot of the weight out.
Exactly.
And it improves the high end. And so
Feels great.
yeah, it's got a nice organic feel to it. Tone wise, it's almost like the harmonics kind of leap off. I've always had the experience where when you're playing an instrument, some instruments they fight you, and it feels like you have to really play hard to get the notes off the instrument, and then others they feel like the lightest touch will just explode harmonics and or notes, and that's what we try to achieve. I can't say we get that on everyone, but we get very consistently and better every year. Here's the Fastlane here. Thank you, Michael.
Fastlane is back.
So this is the only Fastlane. The idea behind this is Canadian built, but we're going to partner with some other Canadian builders, and so right now it's about 3 years to get a custom shop because our finishing takes so long. We can machine very quickly, relatively quickly, but sanding and finishing takes us a long time. So we have excess capacity. We can make the neck and body. We just need help on the sanding and finishing, and so that's what we're looking to do with other Canadian builders. Yeah. And that will allow us to have a Fastlane that's somewhere between ready to play and custom shop in terms of how long will it take to get my bass.
Okay, but also Canadian made.
Also Canadian made.
Yeah, that's
Canadian made pickups, bridge, Neve preamp. I say Neve, it's actually Rupert Neve design, a different company. Limba body, oven call neck, and
Rosewood.
Yes.
Yes.
This is also the body shape that will be on our headless bass. It'll be, they won't look exactly the same, but the profile, how it sits on your leg, we're going to be using that for the headless as well.
Oh, so an headless is coming?
Yeah, and we're collaborating with an Italian ex-F1
engineer,
who also worked on the Ducati racing team. And I'm a big fan of Ducati. I own one myself, so I'm so excited to be working with them, and can't wait to be able to show this to...
Ducati is in Bologna, close to my home.
Oh, yeah.
Just 10 kilometers far from my home.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So you probably see them testing bikes all the time.
Sure, yeah.
Very cool.
I love Ducati.
This is the Lee Sklar model. Lee Sklar has been endorsing Dingwall for 30 years now, and so that's more than half of his career. Wonderful guy, one of the most recorded humans in history.
Yes.
This is his model. The difference with this is we split the body down the middle.
Okay.
Northern ash and alder. And the northern ash brings out the solidity of the B string. It's still a heavy bass, but it's not as heavy if it was all northern ash. And the alder damps the trebles ever so slightly, keeps them sweet sounding, so you can have a bright sounding B with sweet sounding G. And then the Lee Sklar also has the tiny, tiny mandolin frets. Almost feels like a fretless. It's almost effortless to play. D-Rock Standard. This is a new finish for 2025, available all over. Ducati white.
Ducati white, yeah.
And now we have, over on this side here, we have two master builds.
Yeah.
So Simon Padalka, a luthier from Russia, just an incredible craftsman. He decided he wanted to emigrate and to Canada, and so we were approached. Were we interested in having Simon come work with us? And I was like, "Are you kidding? Of course." And so, excuse me for a second. And so We also have another master builder, Paul Hilliker, who's been with us for 15 years.
Okay.
Now, with our master builders, they work on Dingwall basis from Monday to Friday. The evenings, they're free to use our facility to work on their own products. Weekends, they can work on their own products. So Paul has his own line of guitars. Simon has his own line of guitars. This is based on our Prima artists, but it's completely their vision. And Paul, he likes the darker black look, so he went with a black and gold theme. Spalted maple. You notice how the grain goes right through the pickups. These knobs were made from cutoffs of the body.
Of course.
One-piece flame maple core. Flame maple in the neck. His own custom inlay. DR made custom strings for it. So those are the only black dragon skin multi-scale strings in existence right now. Simon, he's the son of an architect. He's also trained as an architect, and so he sees things from the eyes of an architect. And so he took the Prima artist and he took it in a different direction. Instead of making the wood the centerpiece, he's making the shape the centerpiece. And he and I are both fans of Frank Gehry, the architect. In Bilbao, Spain, there's the Guggenheim Museum. It's completely cladded with titanium. And as the sunlight changes, the color of the building changes. And so Simon designed this finish himself using various techniques to create the illusion of titanium. But titanium with flame maple, accent stripe, flame maple neck, matching. When this turns around, you'll see matching flame maple knobs and flame maple pickups.
So the name of the finish is?
I don't know if Simon's named it, and I'm not sure he wants to ever do it again because it was so difficult. But it turned out just beautiful. He also did what is a typical Pudelka treatment on the edge. That's inlaid aluminum. So we bent the aluminum wire to fit in a channel, and very precise work. Now, new for 2025 is the Nashville edition of the Combustion.
Yeah.
And so when I was in Nashville in October, I had a chance to meet a lot of Nashville bass players. And there are the live guys that play in the downtown core, and they have clubs playing, I think, 120 stages, all playing live music from morning until the next morning.
Yes.
And one of the guys I talked to in particular had 4,000 songs that he could play by memory. And so that was very inspiring. And then we went to one of the studios in Nashville, and we had a chance to hang out with the engineers and sort of the high end of the recording studio guys. And that was inspiring as well. And came back to Canada and came up with a variation to the Combustion where we haven't put a blend on a bass since the mid-90s. Because blends tend to roll off the top end, and we've been trying to provide as much of the bass as possible. Seeing what these guys how fast they have to think, I wanted to come up with a simpler system, and because they're all familiar with blends, I saw the value in going back to the blend, even though you lose high end with it. Less high end is fatter, so that's okay too. And so what we have is this, instead of active passive here, we move that to the volume. And now with the switch in the lower position, you have a blend between bridge and neck.
Okay.
So very familiar.
Like a jazz bass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The precision tone right now in Nashville that's the number one tone. So if you want that, put the toggle switch there, and now you have this bypassing the blend, so you get your high end back. And now you have a very strong, clear, well-produced almost compressed P-tone, and then back to the jazz. So easy blend, easy P-tone. If you put it in the middle, it combines the two. So now you can blend between a bridge humbucker and a neck humbucker, or have all three on at once. And it doesn't require you to rethink the instrument. It's just like, yeah, that's my blend. And I have new tones on my blend. The pickguard houses the passive control, so master volume, blend, master tone. And then we have the Rupert Neve design active here. And so all kinds of versatility, super quiet, studio level electronics. And people have tried this today. A few Nashville bass players have been by, and they have been extremely happy with the tone of it. John Taylor, that is where this was the first bass we started using the Rupert Neve design preamp on.
Yes, I know.
And so the John Taylor basses were modeled after the Rio album graphics. When we did the tour of Europe, we met a lot of bass players that wanted to be not in front, they wanted to be visually back a little bit. And so we kept the stripe concept, but we went with ghost stripes. And so this is the John Taylor Stealth Edition.
Yes.
So it still sounds like a Taylor. It still has the stripes of a Taylor, but it's something that no matter what gig you're playing, you can feel comfortable. And not that you wouldn't feel comfortable with the other stripes, but for the people that want to visually not be quite so loud,
Yeah.
we have this now.
That's a reason, because they play bass, maybe.
Everybody, each to their own. Dingwall has a lot of sort of upfront technique style players, and that's because of that's a lot because of the playability of our instruments and the tone that we provide. But that's not every bass player, and so we try to provide something for almost everyone.
Well, we are okay?
Yeah. This would be I guess the last bass.
Oh.
This is also from the brand new shipment of SP1s. This pickguard is something I'm a fan of torque, but I wanted something more modern looking, and so we call this Pablo after Pablo Picasso. It has nothing to do with him, but we just thought, you know what, this is hand painted. We should reference an artist, and so we have a really good artist in our shop on our team, and he did 20 variations of this finish, and then it's been digitized, and this is a digital copy of it, but there'll be 20 different variations available. And it also allows us the freedom to, because it's digital, we can start changing colors. So we could do that in purples and blues, or greens and yellows, or reds and whatever.
So creative.
Yeah, so, and it's also semi-transparent. And so you're able to see the color of the finish through the pickguard, which means this pickguard on white is very punchy. This pickguard on black is very subdued. And so it's been a fun way to switch things up, and hopefully customers like them. Easy to swap. There's nothing mounted to the pickguard, so you could change one between sets if you wanted to.
Yeah, cool. Okay, thank you, Sheldon. I can listen to you speaking about your bass all day long, but we can't.
Yeah.
Sorry
Thank
for
you so much.
this. Check dingwallguitars.com, and as always, bass your life.